Hello, my name is Glenn Gutierrez. I am a first-year student at the University of Tulsa. I am studying filmmaking, and I'm a director who specializes in cinematography, editing, and content creation. I have been making films ever since I could remember me, using a camera by myself. I really think I got my start in middle school when I started my first YouTube channel, and that was me actually making content for an audience for the first time. It was a very small audience, don't get me wrong, but it was still, these strangers watching my videos, and it felt really good, and everything was really independent at first. It was just me, myself, and I making my films. And as of recent, and as things start to get more complicated, I do need to have, actors, camera people, especially since I'm more of a director. I kind of have to, learn to direct people, tell them where to go, tell them what to do, and then manage the whole kind of set, while also still being very involved with every aspect of a production. So I would say that my favorite aspect of filmmaking would have to be cinematography. Using the camera, almost like a field of vision to the world, is just, there's something very special about it. Whenever I'm kind of going about my daily business, I'm always kind of looking at things that could be really good camera angles or really good shots, and then, I can either write them down or just keep them in my head, but they usually come back to me. It's always nice to kind of look around and pretend that you're the camera, so that when you're actually filming, you have some really good ideas and other things to work with. But I just love framing different shots, especially when you're working with out of focus and depth of field, and also maybe some crazy camera angles like canted or sideways stuff, or even upside down. There's so many ways to orient a camera, and it's just a really special process. I also think that editing is one of my favorite parts of filmmaking. I love seeing a project come together. I don't necessarily like editing other people's work. It's kind of difficult for me to imagine their full, sort of idea, but if I have my ideas in my head and I'm working with my footage and I know how everything's gonna come together, I enjoy it so much, seeing it just start out as a few raw video files and then all, coming together at the end. It's just beautiful to be able to watch it back and, appreciate all of the hard work that you've done for it, because editing does take a very long time. I also really just like the creative freedom of filmmaking. I'm a creative person, I have lots of ideas, I'm always thinking about stuff, so it's great to kind of, get all of that on the table, share some ideas with people and peers, and see what could really work for a film. And I've had some crazy ideas that have made some pretty funny films, so it's all working out right now. So when it comes to doing film as a career, I could see myself doing more narrative stuff. That's what I've always done, and that's what I've always been taught, beginning, middle, and story. I really enjoy it. I enjoy being a storyteller, getting all of my ideas out there, but recently I've just became so passionate about documentary making. I have a lot of big interests that I like to research on my own time, especially nature. I'm a big fan of going outside, hiking, and it all kind of revolves around just like animals. They're very fascinating, they're amazing creatures, and every time I watch like a National Geographic film, I like to think that that's gonna be me one day. I would love to be able to travel the world and just show off the beauty of animals with my cinematography skills. And that is definitely something that I do want to go for, but then again, all aspects of filmmaking interest me. So I could see myself doing, really anything in the film industry. So on the subject of other people's films, my favorite movie is probably The Godfather. It's amazing. The acting is great. All of the action sequences, with the mob gunfights and all of the crazy, setups and betrayals. It's so interesting to watch. And I especially love the music. Music is such a big part of, my process of creating a film. You start with maybe like a score or a melody, and then it either gets that like creative process going with the shot, or you have the shot first and then you think of what music can go with it. Music is so important to filmmaking, so having that movie have an amazing score is great. And The Godfather is full of amazing lighting and cinematography effects. I definitely like all of the shots with The Godfather, Don Corleone. It's beautiful. I mean, he's really, all the camera angles are low, to kind of make him look scary, and all of the lights are coming down to make him just look menacing, and his dark spots around his eyes. It's just a very interesting process, and I love how they portrayed the character. So, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, acting is a really big part of the filmmaking process. I mean, that's really what I've learned from this class, acting for the camera, that you really need to work with your actors. And I mean, I don't really consider myself an actor, but I definitely do enjoy acting. I did a lot of theater in high school, and I just like portraying a character, being able to, put their shoes on, their shirt, their hat, whatever they're wearing, and just, kind of become them, but also being a little goofy about it. I mean,
I really like doing impressions. It's enough of that I can't possibly refuse.
I don't know, I just like doing that sort of stuff, and acting kind of just lets me go, full on me. I mean, I like to bring my personality a little bit to the characters I play, but also kind of, doing another person's personality. I mean, but that's the beauty of acting, that you can really be anything that you want to be, and you could play any character as long as, you know how they think, and you know who they are. Would I consider becoming an actor? No. I mean, I like working with the film production side a lot more than I do working in front of the camera. I mean, I definitely do like being in front of the camera. I've done other little acting bits, but I mean, filmmaking as, it's production, it's directing, editing, cinematography is just my passion. I mean, I definitely couldn't give that up. And as much as I do like the whole portraying a character, I definitely couldn't live without, being an editor or being a cinematographer. I like being in charge and having all of that creative freedom. So as an actor, I could see me having, some input, but I kind of like to, be the idea guy and the direction guy, and just sort of bringing my creative vision to life, and then knowing that it's my project and that I'm working with all of these great people. And I don't know, filmmaking is just what I love to do. So as much as acting is a cool thing and I like it, I'm definitely gonna stick with being a filmmaker.